Hello, everyone. Hey, okay, so I'm going to be doing a mid month to the end of February this time around, and I will not be uploading a last week of February video because March March is a crazy, crazy month with um, a couple of very important aspects happening in the beginning, and it doesn't stop. It's like one after the other thing that happens in March that needs a lot of focus from my end. And like I always complain, I work full time. So I need to spend more time on delivering, setting up and delivering March's horoscopes for you guys, um, as well as I really want to commit to uploading that before March 1st. So that's one announcement. Second announcement, as you can see on your screen, I have the my email address for those people who want to contact me for readings. Even though I'm not doing any readings, I'm backed up all the way to May. But if you want to do readings, I can start putting you guys on a waiting list. And then I'll let you know by April when your time slot will be up. And because I'm working on a website that'll be like automated and you can choose your time slots and all that, but it's still under construction um, because I've got so much going on. I haven't, and I'm doing it on my own again. So that takes a lot of time. Uh, and for other, some people, want to ask questions, but they might be shy or they don't want it out there. And you guys can certainly contact me with my email. Now, I might not get back to you right away because I don't know uh, yet what the traffic will be like. Okay, so just letting you know that I might not get to you right away, to your email rather. All right, so those little administrative details out of the way. If you want to take a screenshot of these aspects and these degrees and compare them to your natal chart and see where they hit. All right, and then I'm going to, I don't know if well, um, yeah, I just don't like doing an introduction on these aspects, and you guys just skip straight to your sign, and you might miss some information. So I'm just going to go into each sign right away. I think that'll work better. So I'm going to change screens. Hi Virgo, hope you guys are doing good. Okay, so this is your mid-month to the end of the month scope. I will not be doing a next week's scope because March is a really intense month. I mean, the uh, first day or two has some significant aspects, and then it doesn't stop. It just continues. So, because I work also, and because March is really crazy, I wanted to take extra time so that I can focus on March and deliver a coherent and encompassing scope for you guys. Um, so yeah, so what I'm going to do is hopefully this mid-month to end of the month will carry you through to March when I deliver your March horoscope. Okay, so Virgo, um, we are full on into Pisces weather. The Sun, Moon, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, Ceres, and the North Node are all in Pisces. If you see the chart, it's like um, it's no, it's almost the whole solar system tilting into Pisces. So very, very significant. So need I say much? I guess. And I will remind you that your February scope did call your attention to this month, and especially these last 2 weeks of February, as they are an introduction to the beginning to an end of a very long 14-year, delightful, dreamy, frustrating, and confusing journey with Neptune in Pisces. Um, these next 2 weeks is the prelude to that ending. It's the compromises, it's the discussions, it's the understanding, and so on and so forth. Now, Pisces is your seventh house of partners, personal, business, platonic, um, and the seventh house also reveals open enemies. The seventh house is the house of marriage, divorce, separations, legal separations, and serious commitments and engagements, like serious engagements, prenuptial agreements, and so on and so forth. Anything that has two in it, two to tango. This is a contractual partnership house, Virgo. And for most of you, the confusion has been the ink. And some ink is something that Neptune actually rules, any form of liquids. The ink just kept smudging, running, or kept running out every time you tried to, air quotes, get it in writing. For those of you who are partnered and happily partnered, this is played out with maybe business and or platonic partners, um, and partnerships of any kind, or enemies. Remember, this is the house of mirrors. So whoever knows you really well and has an almost maybe daily or weekly contact with you intimately, not necessarily sexual, but knows you intimately, can be considered a partner. Um, so, and again, for those of you who are happily partnered, this beginning to an end is not, I repeat, not an ending to your very serious and very happy partnership. Okay? So, to spell that right away. For the Virgos who are unhappy in their partnerships, and for the single Virgos, this is the beginning to an end to a toxic, maybe narcissistic, or maybe a gaslighting partnership, um, or no partnership, no, or solid partnership that you have been dealing with and is probably hard to separate from. This week, the sun, the detoxifier, will shed a very, very bright light and a cleansing light inside of all of these analogous cracks in your partnership. You might be reaffirmed in your beliefs, and the sun will give you the energy to decide whether you want to fill in these cracks or to just break the whole damn thing and start over with a different, more equal mindset. And that's the clue, Virgo. Partnership is not about giving all of you over. It is being able to be independent, autonomous, but within a relationship. And I believe you have understood this because this has been a 14-year journey. Now, remember, I mentioned um, in your February monthly scope, once Neptune, but especially Saturn, uh, leaves Pisces in May. And why I say especially Saturn is because Saturn has actually been restricting uh, uh, you with partnerships. He might have even been restricting partners to engage. And again, you can beat up on Saturn all you want, but there's a rhyme and a reason for this, Virgo. He wants you on solid footing. So once he leaves, we'll call him the party pooper. Once the party pooper leaves, you will have multiple partners coming into your life. If you remember, I also mentioned don't be too quick to think the first person you encounter early on is, air quotes, the one, because throughout the remainder of the year after May, and even into next year, there will be a lot of fish in the sea. Oh my God, I couldn't help it. I had to. I'm laughing with you, Virgo. I had to throw that in. It was just too delicious. All right, yeah. Um, I bet you guys will never look at fish the same way again. Anyway, as a matter of fact, um, yeah, be careful with this one. The especially the one where there's triangle relationships. I'm not judging. I'm not. Libra's going to go through the same thing as well. I'm I'm just pointing out something. And I'm not saying they won't work out. Those relationships will work out. As a matter of fact, they will. But you will be accruing karma with those triangle relationships. And with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in your sign, you are already in a karmic situation. So it's kind of intricate and interwoven, but you'll understand when that is all triggered. Um, yeah, it's like high and dry, and then all of a sudden, all these people fighting over you. The irony of the universe, right? In any case, there is yet another group of Virgos who are dealing with, um, let's say, open enemies, like I mentioned in the beginning, or frenemies, excuse me, or adversaries. Um, sorry, and maybe through partners. So, like a mother-in-law or a daughter-in-law, or if you're the man, a son-in-law, or it could be a son-in-law, even if you're a woman, but in-law, add in-law in that. Uh, but it can be other adversaries through partners. Yeah, um, it could be your business partner and their wife or husband, etc., etc. So there is also a beginning to an end to this sticky situation. Um, but not just yet, because this week, for this set of Virgos, it is rehearsal and laying the parameters of what is okay to be broached with you or not, like capital NOT and exclamation mark. Because why I say that is because I see Ceres in Pisces, and at the end of the week, uh, Ceres is going to be, and because Mercury is also here, so Ceres is about compromises. She was Pluto's mother-in-law. She brought him down to his bare knees to compromise over Persephone, her daughter. Um, but it has to be without any emotional hangups. That's how Ceres works. That's how it worked out with her. Um, if emotions are involved, the compromises doesn't work. But once you're past that, and that's why I'm saying this is rehearsal. This is laying down the parameters because Ceres will, for a few weeks, be in Pisces working on these compromises with you and others. Um, and finally, there's a new moon in Pisces next week, which is a new clean opportunity for an ending. Um, when I say clean, I mean a new opportunity because with astrology, when we say clean or whatever, it means it's not aspecting something. But as a matter of fact, it will be this new moon will be aspecting Jupiter, but I'll explain that a little later. But yes, it's a new opportunity for an ending, as that new moon will be a total lunar eclipse in your opposite sign of Pisces 6 months down the line. So a toxic situation or someone toxic, dead wood will be eclipsed out of your life. It's not like a full moon. This is an eclipse. Um, they're powerful. We have no control over them. One way or another, something or someone will be eclipsed out because then after that we'll have solar eclipses in those same areas where that vacuum will be filled with something new. All right, so that's the whole scope for the mid-month to late month. Now let me draw your attention to a couple of aspects this week and next to pay attention to, um, because those are a little bit more detailed. So right in the beginning of the week, and again, I did mention this last week, but I'll mention it again here. These aspects that I'm talking about, again, some of you may feel them, some of you might not. That's why I put up the chart in the beginning so you can match it to your natal chart and see if those degrees hit you anything in your natal chart. And it might be in a different area and so forth and so on. So some of you, and there's like 3 decans of each sign. So there's an early decan of Virgo, middle, and late. But that is not within the scope of this video. But I mentioned it is because some of you might have already felt these or some of these degrees, or might feel it after the specified date. So when I give a date, don't like lock it into that. It's not it's not about that specific day, that specific hour. All right, that's enough of the disclosure. So early on in this week, um, the aspect is on Monday, but you could have already felt it, or you might feel it after. We do have discussions, debates, conversations, agreements, texts, phone calls regarding a partnership or about a part or with a partner that may have started out like in a healing kind of way, but may have unintentionally um, triggered a wound or a hurt um, about intimacy, joint finances, or the past, um, about the way you are valued. Okay, that conversation may have not been intended in that form, but that's 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 maybe how you felt it because it is from Pisces squaring Chiron and Aries. Now, whatever that is discussed, then later on, there 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 is the Moon in Scorpio trining Mercury in Pisces. So Scorpio, sorry about that. Sorry about that. So Scorpio is your fourth house. Is it your fourth house? Oh, I should go to my thingy. um, Scorpio is your third house of communication, commuting, siblings, and neighbors, and all that. So feelings about maybe the communication, you start to understand it a little bit more, and it smooths out whatever hurt there is. But that's still in the background. That's what starts this week. Now, like I mentioned, on Tuesday, the sun enters Pisces, and that's where you start seeing, and everyone sees all these crevices and what's in there. And that is what I meant when you get the energy, because you see it for what it is, and you get the energy uh, to put the energy into uh, deciding, like, there has to be an end to this. Um, and then we have Juno entering Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius for you is your fourth house of home and family, your parents, your physical home. So it can be, a house or an apartment, your living abode. So with the Sun entering Pisces in your partnership house, and then we have Venus in Aries semi-squaring Uranus and Taurus. Mhm. So again, joint finances, intimacy, and then your ninth house of foreigners, higher education, and travel. Semi square is a hard aspect. So it looks like the discussions that you may have had um, that triggered this wound is about home and family. Maybe a parent is involved. Um, and I don't know what this foreign element is. Uh, it could be, like I mentioned earlier, um, the Virgos that are dealing with, like, adversaries through partners. That foreign element may be that. Mm, and then your value system and inheritance, joint finances is all in the mix. Pretty busy day on Tuesday. And this, you'll know who you are and what this means. Um, yeah, but there's some kind of a commitment being talked about regarding home and family. That's the most important thing. Well, one of the most important things. Because then we have, so this is the aspect I really wanted to concentrate on, not that one, is Mercury in Pisces squaring Jupiter in Gemini. So, Virgo, since last May, something about your career, your status, your reputation, authority figures um, started to expand for you. You have been in actually a really lovely space with that. It did stall a bit during. I'm sorry, that's my pug snoring. It did stall a bit during the winter months, but Jupiter has station direct and is moving forward. So this is picked up again. Something about your career, your status is picking up again. So that's where your good luck is. It is through your careers, um, a recognition. Okay, um, and a square is a hard aspect. However, here Mercury rules Gemini and Jupiter rules Pisces. So there's mutual reception, there's mutual understanding. Even though this is a hard aspect, uh, it looks more to be of an expansion of something regarding your career and status that is being talked about with or through a partner. There's some kind of a benefit here. Um, yeah, there's some kind of a benefit, like your career is like benefiting these talks. Okay, let me move on. And then on Sunday is where we have Mercury in Pisces again, communication, contract agreements, any kind of calls or what have you, regarding partners or with partners, is is sitting really well with Mars in Cancer. Now, Cancer for you is your 11th house of friends, groups, and associations, but it is also your 11th house. It is the house of your hopes and visions of your future, of how you want to be seen, like outside of yourself, outside of your home, outside of your close community. And the 11th house also rules a second or third marriage. So there's pay attention to this day, because, well, the day before or after, especially this week or towards the ending of the week, because on that same day we will have Mars stationing direct in Cancer and Ceres entering Pisces as well. Um, Now, Cancer, beside it being what I mentioned regarding the 11th house, it also does rule a family, uh, parents, and the mother, a matriarchal figure. So that's all in the mix. And you might be that, because we've got Sagittarius in here and all that good stuff. In any case, pay attention to those discussions as just right after that, Mars stations direct. And I say, whenever planet stations, um, there's a humming that lifts a veil and you get like a sneak peek. All right. And then Ceres entering Pisces is a big, big deal. As I mentioned, compromises, agreements are going to be discussed. And they'll be discussed um, seriously and without really um, emotion. It's like a 50-50. Everybody, each side has to give up something in order to move forward, to get something. And then we will have early next week Mercury conjunct Saturn in Pisces, and that's kind of a big deal. Saturn, like I said, has been restricting partnerships, constricting, putting up boundaries. And with Mercury joining in on Saturn's play here, this means there's going to be a very serious conversation regarding a partnership. And again, whichever Virgo you are that I mentioned in the beginning, pay attention to this conversation here because it's very important, it's very serious, but also because Mercury will be retrograding back into Pisces. So there is going to be a back and forth until you guys get this right. And also because, Mercury being in Pisces can be nuanced, a nuanced way. Um, it's not really solid, like straight lines. So it may take a couple of turns, a couple of more discussions to pin it down. Because some people might not say things only because they don't want to hurt others. So that's why I'm saying it might be nuanced or reading between the lines. And then finally, um, towards the end of the week on Thursday, we do have this new moon in Pisces that I discussed. It is a new opportunity, anticipating um, an ending because we know there's a beginning right after that. Uh, I gave you the analogy of spring cleaning um, that's going on here, so that's why February is sort of a holding pattern, like a rehearsal or spring cleaning, if you will, to start uh, on this to work on the beginning of the end here. All right, Virgo. I hope that holds you. Just pay attention to, like I said, the there was two aspects that I want to going. Yeah, so pay attention to towards the end of the week of the Mercury in Pisces squaring Jupiter in Gemini. That's going to be, in my opinion, I think this will be a very beneficial square. Just the only risk here is just exaggeration because it's Jupiter, but it's still Gemini. Gemini really does focus down to the nitty gritty. So pay attention to that conversation, which is regarding partners and your career and status. So for some of you who are getting engaged or married, this might be something of setting up maybe a prenup or something to that effect because we do have. I always forget about the time limit, so it cut me off. So yeah, I was explaining that we do have Juno entering Sagittarius, so commitment, and it's about home and family. Um, so yeah, so paint, and then on starting next week with Mercury in Pisces trining Mars in Cancer and Mars stationing direct in Cancer. That's pretty important as well. And then, of course, the end of next week, the new moon in Pisces. So you will, at the end of the month, have a clear understanding. Well, yeah, somewhat of a clear understanding of what a beginning of an end looks like. Okay, Virgo, I hope that holds you till your March monthly forecast. If you have any questions, because it is really difficult to explain Pisces weather in layman's terms, because it is so nuanced. It does have to do with a lot of spirituality and the nuance. But I hope I explained it clearly. But if you have any questions, I do answer all of them. You can throw them in the comments. I will talk to you in March. Hi Libra. Sorry, I'm laughing because my pug is snoring, and I'm trying to make him not snore, but it's not working. So yeah, that snoring in the background is my pug. Anyway, Libra, this is your mid-month to end of the month scope, as I will not be doing a weekly scope next week because I have to prepare for your March forecast, and I need that extra time. Besides the fact that I work, I need the extra time because March is crazy. The first day or the second day, there's like an intense aspect, and it doesn't stop. It continues on and on. So I need the extra time um, to spend on that, uh, and I want to upload that by before March 1st, or at least upload all the signs on March 1st. So hopefully this mid month will take you through to until I talk to you guys in March. So Libra, we have a lot going on in Pisces weather. It is a stellium in Pisces weather. And if you remember your February monthly forecast, I did speak at length as to that this month is really like a prelude to the ending of Neptune's exit of Pisces and Saturn. And um, yeah, we have a new opportunity, a new moon that will be giving us a new opportunity for a beginning to an end as we anticipate a new beginning in Aries. So I mentioned uh, like something of a spring cleaning. It's a holding pattern in February, but with the movie trailer of the ending of Neptune's 14-year long journey in Pisces. So first off, Pisces for you is your sixth house of health, habits, routines, rituals, taking care of someone. Um, it's your house of chaos and gossip as well. And um, the Pisces also rules the 12th house in the zodiac sign. So the past, your psyche, um, again, taking care of people, any long-term drug or alcohol use here, and spirituality and faith is all in here. So you've experienced pretty much all of this in the last 14 years, definitely. Maybe some components more intensely at times than others. But there's an ending here. And for most of you, it has to do with a health situation. Uh, some of you, it's about taking care of someone, and for others, it's about your job, your schedule. It's tied in with your career as well. Uh, you are you, most of you are changing careers, and if we can even see that with the government. Uh, if you work for the government, you can see those changes. But it does slide down to the corporate world where there'll be other changes. So, yes, you are on the precipice of a career or a job change. Okay, and and for those of you who are taking care of someone in addition to your job, um, and wanting reprieve from one or the other, we do have a couple aspects that are going to start negotiating compromises to that effect. So let me start off with the beginning of the week. Right in the beginning, we do have Mercury in Pisces, semi-squaring Chiron in Aries. Let me go to, yeah. So talks, agreements, debates, discussions regarding a schedule or a routine, maybe a change in that aspect. Again, maybe it's about your job that triggers some kind of hurt, a wound, in regards to partnership. It might be, and now partnerships are personal partnerships, yes, but they are also business, platonic, and anyone who knows you really well, intimately, can be considered a partner. So a parent can be a partner, a child can be, an adult child can be a partner, a brother, sister, what have you. So whatever this schedule is that's not working for you, um, you are going to go into serious discussions this week, towards more at the end of the week, about changing it. You might be doing work from home and work at the office. Or again, like I said, if you're doing something else in addition to your regular job, you're going to have to compromise here because it is affecting uh, your health in some instances, um, maybe your physical health or your mental health, because these two have to be in sync in order for everything to work. Uh, as well, early in the week, the sun enters Pisces. So the sun will detoxify, will shed its light into the crevices and cracks of what is not working here. Um, and you are mentally preparing, getting this energy to work out a workable health or schedule for you. Because many of you, there has been a lot of changes, especially, well, besides, Capricorn, Pluto leaving Capricorn, but also because when Jupiter entered Gemini, which is your ninth house of foreigners, higher education, long distance traveling, and all that, you had a few opportunities, really nice opportunities that started back in May, and you were very excited about that, changing that, and then it stalled in the fall, which was due to um, Jupiter turning retrograde. Now it's picking up again. and you're going to revisit that, re-engage with that, and you'll have a couple more opportunities coming in. Now, the other factor that has changed your life for a majority of you is the eclipses that happened in your sign and in your opposite sign. So um, many of you have um, left a partnership or separated or in the process of doing that and going through whatever legal processes that have to go through, as well as some of you have children involved and you're negotiating all that. That weighs on your psyche. And Libra is all about partnership. Um, so, and the other thing with Libra is that because you're all about partnership, and whatever commitment you make, you do see it through, no matter what. Um, However, um, it has been holding you back in somehow. Again, it might have been affecting your health, or your work routine, or something in that area. Because what I see is also taking care of someone. Your partner might have been maybe might have had an ailment, or maybe you're caring for a parent or an elderly uh, relative, or your work could be in that field of taking care of someone. In any case, the thing with Jupiter in Gemini, and with these eclipses that happened uh, with you and Aries, with you and a partner, uh, and with Mars coming in, your life has completely changed. It has like flipped over on its head. And now your routine, your sixth house is catching up with that. Your psyche, your health is catching up with that. So you have to make allowances for that. And that's what that's what is going on this week and next, is getting that schedule right, um, and taking care of your health. So the other thing that happens that's significant this week is Venus in Aries will semi-square Uranus in Taurus. Aries, again, is your seventh house of partnerships, and Taurus is your eighth house of intimacy, joint finances, the mortgage, inheritance, and endings, to begin new beginnings. So there's going to be um, discussions about that, but something um, surprising uh, event or discussion or happenstance will happen regarding joint finances, inheritance, the mortgage. Um, so there's talks about that, and naturally, if you are, separating or divorcing, that is a natural talk that will take place. Now, Juno also enters Sagittarius on the same day, and Sagittarius for you is your third house of communication, commuting, the neighborhood, a very close circle of people, brothers, sisters, extended family, um, the neighborhood, or social media. Um, so there's some type of a commitment that's talked about in regards of these things or with these people. Okay, and again, it is about, because it's working with Neptune, with Pisces, with all these planets. So it is maybe, siblings or this very close circle are the ones who are going to be helping you with this scheduling, relieving you of this scheduling, maybe because you have this ongoing health thing that you're trying to get down pat. The other important aspect that happens is on Thursday. Mercury in Pisces will square Jupiter in Gemini. Again, discussions, debates about your schedule and your health that squares Jupiter in Gemini. So a square is a hard aspect. Gemini, again, is your ninth house of long distance travel, higher education, or foreigners. So it might be getting your schedule straight because of maybe school. Um, Maybe your schedule is not working out for your school. Maybe you are trying to do online classes of some sort. But this square is a hard aspect. Yes, however, there's mutual reception here. Mercury rules Gemini, and Jupiter is the co-ruler of Pisces. And Gemini is your fellow air sign. So you do benefit from this square. It's some squares are good, some oppositions are good. In this instance, it's mutual reception, and Gemini being an air sign, it is very helpful to you. And Gemini also rules natally the brothers, sisters, extended family, community, and communication. So that's what I see here for a lot of you. Is this help is coming from siblings or this close circle in regards to your health and schedule. Um, yeah. So look to those discussions. The only risk here might be an exaggeration. So if you're reaching out um, to discuss this, siblings or this close community will absolutely step forward and commit, but there might be exaggeration to that commitment. That's the only risk, really, I see, the only negative. And thus, there is no negative with this square for you. Now, the next important event or events happens on Sunday. And when I say like Sunday, some of you might feel it before Sunday or after Sunday. So don't get really hung up on the exact day, hour, time. Like, oh no, did I miss it? Excuse me. No, you won't. Sorry, that's my bug. Um, you won't miss it. I mean, these are these are important aspects. So you won't. You're not missing anything. Is what I'm trying to say. Uh, yeah. So on Sunday or thereabouts, Mercury in Pisces will trine Mars in Cancer. And Cancer is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. And again, Pisces is your sixth house. So, yeah, for many of you, this is about a career change, about a job change. Um, Maybe um, switching jobs, like a brand new job, or it can be within the company. But there's something about a schedule or routine that changes along with that, and it is like a perfect fit. It is almost like Cinderella's shoes. And your career, since it is Cancer, um, it it has something to do with family or caring for family or um, family situation. I mean, maybe you're a counselor. It can be any of any of that, but there's family involved here. Or the authority figure might be, an older sibling that is helping you out with whatever scheduling or health thing you have going on. Now, this is the second of three trines. There will be another on in April, and I discussed that at length, probably in last week's scope or in your February monthly forecast. The other thing here is Mars will station direct in Cancer on Sunday, and that's quite important because I always say pay attention to that day before, of, or after, because we have two major hits to Cancer. So we have these discussions regarding your schedule and routine, and then we have Mars stationing direct. So this is, yes, dead smack. It is regarding your career. Now, it can be about your status. So married, not married, single, not single. It can be that. Um, how that affects your routine, um, I wouldn't know exactly because there are millions of Librans with hundreds of different scenarios and rising signs and so forth. But just to know that it might also be about status and your health or routine is changing in some way. The and the next. Oh, also on this day, this is why the end of this week is really important. Beginning of next is Ceres will enter Pisces, and Ceres is the planet of compromise. She was the one who compromised with Pluto, um, the very powerful, feared Pluto, where they both compromised on her daughter Persephone. It's a long story, but it's I think it's in the November scope. But why I'm mentioning the background on Ceres is because Ceres and compromises emotions, uh, heated exchanges will not um, yield compromise. What will yield compromises here and agreements is practicality and both sides giving up something to get something. Okay, so just make that mental note. Uh, just don't rise to any heated debates with compromises. Try to have a go between if you can, um, because it can get, if it's heated, it's not going to work. But it's not a one-day deal. Series will be in Pisces for a few weeks, um, and these discussions will be ongoing. So that's another thing is that because we also have Mercury going back and forth in Pisces this time around, it will take. This is just sort of a rehearsal, if you will, these 2 weeks with compromises till you guys get it right and it benefits both parties again. But both will have to sacrifice something in order to get that. Now, the other thing that is I'm highlighting is on the 25th, which is a Tuesday, I believe, Mercury will conjunct Saturn in Pisces, and this is really important. Saturn has been in your sixth house of health and habits and routines since 2023, and you have seen restrictions or burdens regarding this area of your life. Uh, but that was mainly to build a foundation to crystallize whatever that was confusing you. And with this conjunction, it is a serious talk in order to manifest your perfect job, your perfect schedule, or uh, a concrete answer regarding your health. It might be a physician or your family doctor or maybe a guru, uh, you know, therapist or whatever. But it is a serious discussion that actually helps you get this health and habit and routines in check. And then what we have is the next important and like finale, is the new moon in Pisces on the 27th. So the end of the month. This is a new opportunity for the beginning of the end of whatever confusion you've had regarding your health and habits. Because this new moon will be a total lunar eclipse 6 months down the line. And I've discussed that at length as well in the previous weekly and your monthly. But just to know, again, this is like a holding pattern, like a prelude, um, like a sneak peek to this ending of how this will be. Uh, and an eclipse is powerful. It would behoove you to start preparing for this ending, to work towards releasing whatever it is that you need to release regarding a health or a job or a routine. Because if you don't do it on your own, something or someone will be eclipsed out of your life, and it can be emotional, even though it's your sixth house. I mean, sorry, but because you are all about partnerships, and every area of your life is basically revolves around partnerships. So partnerships are affected in every area of your life. Um, so yeah, I had to stop it for a second. Um, so yeah, these next 2 weeks, we have the sun, the moon, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, and the North Node in all in Pisces. So it is. I mean, I talk about other things, but it's really about your sixth house of health, habits, routines, scheduling, a job, taking care of someone, any kind of gossip, or creating order out of chaos is all wrapped up into this house. And the confusion that you may have had here has really ended, but there's just these restrictions that's pointing you towards that there has to be some sort of a release, some sort of an ending to whatever this job or this routine or health matter, because it is holding you back. Uh, and like I said, the new moon, it has this new opportunity that is actually squaring Jupiter in Gemini. So your release point. So let's look at that once again. So Gemini, your ninth house of long distance travel, foreigners, higher education, publishing, and the World Wide Web. Um, this, whatever this ending is, or whatever this new opportunity for an ending regarding your health and habits, is definitely, um, even though it's a square, but I think this is a good square because it is freeing you up. Whatever this ending is, whatever this change of schedule is, or in regards to your health, it is freeing you up for this next big adventure that you're going to have. Because Jupiter in Gemini is a prelude to when Taurus will enter Gemini for the next 7 years. That's huge. Your higher education, for you Libra students. I mean, um, that's self-explanatory. But for other Librans, it has to do with um, either a career that's going to you're going to be traveling a lot, or dealing with foreigners. Um, Maybe you'll work at the United Nations. I'm not laughing because it can. I mean, you never know. It can manifest into something like that. But yeah, you're or you might be or you might meet a foreigner and travel abroad. Um, yeah, so this is a prelude to that, to what is going on. I mean, in a lot of ways. Saturn will also be leaving Pisces in May, and then May, June, Uranus enters Gemini, and big, huge shifts. But these 2 weeks, Libra, is about getting your schedule, your health, your routine in sync. And Series is here to help you with that. But it has to be in within compromising with a willing to give up something in order to gain something. You will not be the only one who will be giving up something. Others will as well. I mean, it can be bosses or partners. Okay, Libra, I will leave you with that. If you have any confusion or questions, I do answer all questions because it is quite challenging explaining Libra aspect or Pisces aspects because Pisces is very nuanced, yeah, and it has to do about hidden things or secrets or what have you. And Neptune, it's hard to prescribe it in layman's terms, but I hope I did it justice. But in the event I didn't, because you know uh, it can be confusing. Absolutely. If you have any questions, do throw them in the comments. I will answer them. All right, Libra. I just feel like I'm dropping off my child at daycare or something. I just don't want to let you go. No, I will let you go because I will speak to you in your March forecast. Take care, Libra. Hi, Scorpio. Scorpio, this is your mid month to the end of the month scope, as I will not be doing a weekly scope next week um, because I have to prepare for your March scope, horoscope, because March is quite intense. I'm sorry, that's my pug snoring, but most of you guys already know that. Um, so yeah, March, like the second day, there's a really intense aspect, and it doesn't stop. It's like one after the other. So besides the fact that I work, I need more time to really give you an all around March scope that makes sense. And I want to upload it before March, or at least all the signs on March 1st. So that's why I will be leaving you hopefully with this mid month to the end of the month. That'll hold you over till your March scope. So Scorpio, we have a whole lot of planets in Pisces. I mean, everything is in Pisces. And if you remember your February monthly forecast, and even I think last week, I've been mentioning that uh, February is like a prelude to the ending of Neptune's journey, 14-year journey in Pisces that you've experienced. And especially these next 2 weeks, we have the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Saturn, Neptune, Ceres, and the North Node all in Pisces. So your focus and intensity and discussions will all be regarding your Pisces related house. So Pisces for you is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. And you've had intensity here for the past 14 years. Sometimes one of these factors may have been more intense at certain times, but you have certainly experienced all of this. And there has been confusion and uh, something just being within your reach, but never really materializing. And especially the last 2 years, you've had a lot of obstacles and maybe restrictions regarding a romance or a child, or just having like light fun, uh, uh, enjoying yourself. So these 2 weeks will set up something where it's the beginning of the end of this confusion and this restriction. You'll start seeing this at the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. And there's also movement in your seventh house of partnerships, as well as we have aspects to Jupiter in Gemini, which is your eighth house of intimacy, uh, joint finances, um, any government benefits, loans, credits, and the such. So let's just start right off the bat with the first important aspect that happens is at the beginning of this week on Monday. And when I say like Monday, this will happen. It's not on that specific hour or that specific minute, because it also depends on your natal chart and your rising sign, and if these degrees actually touch anything in your natal chart, because you might not feel it if it's not there. And there's three different decans of each sign, so early Scorpio, middle, and late. But that's not within the scope of this video. I'm just trying to reiterate the fact that when I say on this day, it doesn't necessarily have to be on that day. You could have felt it before that, or you can feel it after. In any case, so in the beginning of the week, we have um, Mercury in Pisces, semi-squaring Chiron in Aries. So there's discussions, debates, text, emailing, conversations, or phone calls regarding a lover or a romance or a child, or with a lover or a romance or a child, that triggers some kind of a wound or a hurt regarding your routine, your job, maybe your health, habits, or any kind of maybe gossip or chaos that you have encountered. Something about your schedule and your health and your routine or job that you might feel is not what you wanted. Okay, so you experience that, and I can go into a little detail, but I don't want to sidetrack here. But at the risk of sidetracking, I'll just mention that for many of you, you have been in a career or a job position that might have been not fulfilling. It might be lucrative, but it might have been unfulfilling for you. You didn't think this was you, but out of necessity, what you think is a necessity, you might have stayed in this like a golden opportunity, but it's just not you. And Jupiter has been working here to have you like open your mind to a different way, a different, not so set regarding a job or a routine, because you are about security too. Money is very important to you, but you might have been settling for something that you're not enjoying. So that's why I wanted to mention that, because of this square to Chiron and Aries, this a past wound or hurt regarding a job or a schedule. So whatever this discussion regarding a partner or a romance or a child, um, it could have been due to um, maybe your routine or your job that didn't wasn't cohesive. It didn't give you um, ease of mind to have fun, to entertain a romance. Okay, or it may have hindered it. All right, so then we have the sun entering Pisces, and that completes sort of the Aquarius weather, and now we are full on into Pisces, because I mentioned all these planets and points are going to be in Pisces. So your focus is definitely shifting here. The intensity is on your romance house, your children or creativity. The sun shines light into the deepest, darkest crevices or analogous cracks that there may be there, and uh, makes you realize that there has to be some sort of an ending, excuse me, here, in order for you to be free of restrictions or confusion. Um, and then we have Venus in Aries that will semi square Uranus and Taurus. And Aries is, again, your sixth house of job and routine, and Taurus is your seventh house of partners. Again, this harkens to some sort of freedom, um, freedom from a partnership or within a partnership, as you want to pursue this ideal um, schedule or job or routine. And then we have Juno entering Sagittarius on the same day. Sagittarius is your second house of job, money, income, your income, and your value system. And Juno is about commitment. So this is definitely about you changing your job, which will naturally change your routine. You're wanting your head fast on this at the risk of a partnership or a romance. Um, I mean, you can be in the lucky group that gets both. Have your cake and eat it too. But some of you will be making hard decisions here, Scorpio. Uh, Either it is you that will be breaking free, or a romance or a partner will be breaking free. Um, but it is, again, it's Uranus, so it's part of the thing of where at the moment it might seem disruptive or not comfortable, but in the long run, you look back at it and it seemed like a blessing in disguise. Uh, so yeah, look to those discussions about commitment here and something surprising regarding your seventh house of partnerships. Now, this can also be a business or platonic partnership. It doesn't necessarily have to be an intimate partnership, but with your fifth house here in the mix, that's what I'm leaning towards. Now, the next important aspect is on the 20th, Thursday. Again, you might feel it before or after, depending on your natal chart and your rising sign. We have Mercury in Pisces that will square Jupiter in Gemini. So there's going to be discussions, again, debates regarding a romance or a child that is squared to Jupiter in Gemini. And Gemini is your eighth house of intimacy, the mortgage, um, anything taboo, government benefits, and inheritance is in the picture here. So with a square, it's a hard aspect. And with Jupiter, Jupiter expands things and multiplies. So in the negative, and I'm doing air quotes because nothing really is negative with the planets and the horoscope. It's just to your benefit that something happens. But with the square to Jupiter, these conversations regarding a lover or a romance or having fun um, might be exaggerated um, in regards to intimacy, or it might like the discussion might turn into a debate, maybe a confusing debate. Um, but with this square, there's mutual reception. Mercury does rule Gemini, and Jupiter is the co-ruler of Pisces. So I've mentioned before, squares can be good aspects. They jumpstart things. It's not like an opposition. It's like not like an either or. There's room to maneuver. And plus, with this mutual reception, it is to both houses that each benefit. So it might be an exciting um, talk about intimacy with a romance or a romantic person, individual in your case. But just the risk is the exaggeration. That's the only risk I really see. Uh, Also keeping in mind, Scorpio, that uh, your net uh, gain here is of freedom. If you're discussing intimacy with a romantic uh, lover, and you want to take it to the next step, because we have the Uranus and Taurus, your seventh house lighting up here, there has to be an understanding and agreement regarding freedom. Um, Freedom within a relationship. Otherwise, it will not work because we have another aspect that's coming up in May uh, that will square Taurus. It's about commitment again, and that's way too powerful at that stage where if there is no freedom, it will break. So just keep in mind, because Mercury will also be doing a retrograde. So if there's any confusion regarding a discussion with a romance or a lover in regards to intimacy and making it solid or going into a partnership, uh, just be clear on this freedom part. All right, I won't harp too much on that. So the next important thing is at the end of the week or beginning of next week. We have quite a few aspects on Sunday that are important. First off, we have Mercury in Pisces that will trine Mars in Cancer. Again, discussions with or about a romance or a child in relations to your ninth house of long distance travel, foreigners, higher education, publishing, and the World Wide Web. Uh, it is a nice trine. Cancer also rules family, parents, and your physical home. Um, so, yeah, what this looks like is most of you want to settle down. But whatever this foreign element is, uh, you might have had maybe an issue with it before, but here it's getting smoothed out, or whatever hesitation you might have had. Here you have like confidence that this will work. Um, yeah, look at those discussions. Keep Sunday in mind, because on top of that, then we have Mars stationing direct in Cancer. And that's a big deal because Mars has been going back and retrieving some information that you may have missed uh, since when first Mars entered Cancer, and it was just about heat and urgency and going forward regarding your ninth house of foreigners, higher education, and relocation. And many of you are thinking about a relocation. I've discussed that at length in your February scope. Many of you will, if you're not living by the water, you will be somewhere very close to water, or your career might be going. If you are by water, you're contemplating about something, about maybe a career in with a water theme. Also on this day, yeah, this is an important day. Ceres will enter Pisces. So whatever the confusion you've had, or struggle you've had with a lover or a romance, whether it was with them or outside figures involved in here, Ceres is the planet of compromise, and she's a very powerful uh, uh, figure in as far as compromising, because she was the only one that could uh, make powerful Pluto, the very feared Pluto, into compromising over her daughter Persephone. So, and her power stemmed from the leverage she had, that she was Persephone's mother, Pluto's wife. So there is leverage here for you um, regarding this fifth house of romance, love, or creativity, maybe a creative project. And the compromises will start. Whatever was not working, whatever you need to end, the compromises start, the discussions start. It's not a one day deal. Series will be in Pisces for a few weeks. So very important day. Just keep it in your calendar, because there's the discussion. There's forward movement with uh, well, Mars stationing in Cancer. So pay attention to that day or the day before or after, because you get sort of a sneak peek of what this foreigner or relocation matter or traveling long distance travel matter is about, as uh, Mars will end its journey of Cancer in April, I believe, because then it goes into Leo, and then this start of compromises with a romance or a child. And with compromises, just keep in mind, no intensity, no emotional intensity, because it is about losing something to gain something. That's usually what a compromise is. You have to give up something to get something. So both sides have to give up something in order to gain something, in order for an agreement, a compromise, to go through. And if there are emotions involved, um, it will not work. It has to be based solely on logic, on pragmatism. I mean, of course, emotions can never really be thrown out of the window, but what trumps everything is logic, and be and willing to give up something to gain something, to be in agreement. Okay, and it might have to do, again, with some kind of a freedom. All right. Um, the next important thing is on the 25th, when we have Mercury conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Again, this is very important. This is a serious discussion about a romance, a lover, or a child. And it's a serious discussion about the restriction here. So again, this is highlighting uh, freedom or breaking through. What I'm trying to say is, if you are talking about any kind of commitment, uh, maybe these 2 weeks may not be the best time to do that, unless otherwise, you're fully aware, you and the other, that there has to be some kind of a freedom involved here. Now, uh, the last important thing that I want to mention is the new moon in Pisces. It is on the 27th of February, so the end of the month. This is a new opportunity, Scorpio, for an ending, because this new moon in Pisces will, 6 months down the line, be a total lunar eclipse. Something or someone or a situation will be eclipsed out of your life in regards to your fifth house. And it can, it can be something simple as in, um, let me think about this. Um, Whatever, again, I'm having difficulty with your chart is because this aspect that's coming up with Uranus and this commitment, and you know maybe trying to upgrade this into a partnership, but these 2 weeks are not, um, these 2 weeks are not about commitment. Hold off on that. Um, when you have a clearer picture, when these compromises go through. But definitely, a new opportunity for an ending, because Pisces is the end of the zodiac. Um, it has to do with something about the past. Um, that has to be released in order to have a new opportunity that'll fill up that vacuum. But look to the 27th about this new opportunity. And it is a holding pattern here. Um, like I mentioned in your February scope, this is about spring cleaning, anticipating uh, an ending, because we know a new beginning is coming up with Aries. We are going to start something new here. Uh, and, if you keep on that, this new moon also squares Jupiter in Gemini. So there is, again, talk about intimacy and expanding that. Uh, and this new opportunity might be like a miracle or a blessing in disguise, because we have then Mercury in Pisces sextiling Uranus in Taurus, your seventh house. So that's a very nice aspect. So, yeah, um, look to that new moon, this new opportunity, because we do have then a Saturn in Pisces semi-sextile in Chiron in Aries. I mean, those are beautiful aspects right there. The only thing that concerns me, again, is because we'll have Mercury retrograde in Pisces, so it's going to go back and forth over these discussions again. So just make sure about any confusion about uh, being free within this relationship. Okay, Scorpio, I will end it there, and I hope that holds you until the March scope. Um, if you have any questions, because I know this can be confusing, Pisces is a difficult sign to relay in layman's terms. Throw them down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. I answer all questions. So take care of yourselves. I'll talk to you in March.